Chicago's mayor has taken a bold stand against what many see as an alarming escalation: the potential deployment of federal troops to the city under President Donald Trump's administration. This move has sparked intense debate about the balance of power, public safety, and civil rights. Mayor Brandon Johnson officially signed an executive order on Saturday, launching the Protecting Chicago initiative. This directive is designed to shield Chicago residents from what Johnson described as threats and actions of an out-of-control administration. The mayor's decision comes amid credible intelligence suggesting that federal military forces could be sent to Chicago within days, raising fears of a militarized presence on city streets. At a press conference, Johnson explained the uncertainty surrounding the exact nature of the federal intervention. "We don't yet know what form this will take," he said. "It could involve militarized immigration enforcement, the deployment of National Guard troops, or even active-duty military personnel accompanied by armed vehicles patrolling our neighborhoods." One of the key provisions of the mayor's order instructs Chicago law enforcement officers not to cooperate with federal military forces during patrols or immigration enforcement operations. Johnson emphasized that this is the most comprehensive effort by any U.S. city to protect its citizens from what he views as an overreach by the federal government. This announcement follows President Trump's earlier statements this month, where he hinted at expanding the National Guard deployment beyond Washington, D.C., to other major cities, including Chicago. Trump initially mobilized the National Guard in the nation's capital, citing a need to combat rising crime. He has since claimed that this military presence has successfully reduced violence there. However, data from the Metropolitan Police Department revealed that violent crime in Washington, D.C. was already at a 30-year low before the troop deployment. Critics argue that this crackdown may be less about public safety and more about testing the waters for a broader militarization of American cities. Adding to the controversy, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, the highest-ranking Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives, publicly stated in a CNN interview that Trump lacks the constitutional authority to send federal troops to Chicago. The U.S. Constitution delegates policing powers primarily to the states, a point echoed by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who also condemned the idea. Governor Pritzker accused Trump of manufacturing a crisis to politicize military personnel and distract from the hardships faced by working families. Donald Trump is attempting to manufacture a crisis, politicize Americans who serve in uniform, and continue abusing his power to distract from the pain he is causing working families, Pritzker said in a statement. Further complicating the situation, CNN reported that the Trump administration is preparing a significant immigration enforcement operation in Chicago, possibly as soon as next week. According to unnamed sources, this immigration crackdown is separate from the proposed National Guard deployment aimed at addressing crime. Since beginning his second term in January, President Trump has pursued a hardline stance on immigration, vowing to carry out the largest deportation campaign in U.S. history. The administration justifies these actions by targeting individuals it labels as criminals residing in the country illegally. It has also negotiated agreements with third countries to accept deported asylum seekers and migrants. Yet, numerous media reports have revealed that many people caught up in these raids are American citizens or permanent residents without criminal records, raising serious concerns about the fairness and accuracy of the enforcement efforts. In June, Trump deployed 4,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles, following a surge in immigration arrests that sparked widespread protests and clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement. The White House responded sharply to Mayor Johnson's executive order. Spokesperson Abigail Jackson criticized the mayor's actions as political grandstanding, stating, "Cracking down on crime should not be a partisan issue. If these Democrats focused on fixing crime in their own cities instead of doing publicity stunts to criticize the president, their communities would be much safer." During his press conference, Mayor Johnson acknowledged that it remains uncertain whether Trump will proceed with the troop deployment in Chicago. "He could change his mind. He could reverse course. In fact, I encourage him to do that," Johnson said. He stressed that Chicago, the nation's third largest city, does not want to see its residents subjected to aggressive federal actions. We do not want families torn apart. We do not want grandmothers dragged into unmarked vans. We don't want homeless Chicagoans harassed or disappeared by federal agents, Johnson added. But here's where it gets controversial. Is the mayor's resistance a necessary defense of civil